Hello! One quick thing before I get started. Over 99% of people watching these videos are not subscribed. Now, I'm not going to bully you or anything, but it would be nice if you just hit that button down there as it helps save one small child in underdeveloped countries. So with that out of the way, well, hello everybody. I am Barry, and today we've got another tier list. Ranking Boruto villains from best to worst. Not from weakest to strongest. I will be doing that in the future, but for right now it's best to worst. As in like which character is extremely annoying or just bad for the plot or something like that. Versus characters that add a lot to the plot, which would be placed up near the S tier. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can see down here all of the villains that we have. And as for the tiers, we've got S, A, B, C, D, Dreadful. I can already see a couple people that I know will be going in this Dreadful tier, but we will get to them when we get to them. The first one we have is Ada, and we haven't seen too much of her being a villain, and I doubt we will be seeing very much more of that, because if you have read the latest chapter of the manga, by the way, there will be spoilers, so if you've not caught up with the manga, you may want to do that before you watch this. But Ada is no longer a bad guy, seemingly. We'll see about it next chapter, but as of right now, Ada is good, but she is pretty strong. Was she very, scary? Not really. She has kind of a weird, pull out of a hat quirk. She just makes everyone fall in love with her, so we're just gonna go see. I don't know how much of a villain she is. I mean, this isn't anything sexist, but she doesn't seem like a villain, look like a villain. I'm not going to get too deep into that. I don't want to get canceled. Okay, Amado. Another one that is sort of on the border. We don't really know if he's a villain. I mean, he's been a villain when he was strictly with Kara, but he always had plans of coming to Konoha, but we still don't know his true motives. So I guess we'll define him as a villain during the pre-moving to Konoha era, in which case he's super mysterious, always is super mysterious. And I think he's pretty high up there. I mean, he's probably going to end up being the main villain if there isn't some sort of Otsutsuki god. So either S or A. I don't think he's really strong enough to be S, but he's definitely smart enough to be. He's not really all that threatening. I like Amado. We'll just do A. I mean, I'm hard pressed to even call him a villain, but as far as what he is, he's very good at it. So next one is Ao. I mean, it's a callback to Naruto, which I like, but he's not all that strong, isn't all that threatening. I mean, he did kill Mujino, but as far as being a villain, he's probably, we'll go see. He's just not intimidating enough, honestly, for me. I'd much rather be standing in front of Ao than most of these people, so that's definitely got to be considered. Now, Ada falls into that category. She'd probably just kill me instantly, but she doesn't look like she would. So Ao kind of falls in that same thing where he's not all that intimidating. He's really not all that strong. He's not dreadful. He played the part, but that's about all he did. Boro. Boro was honestly pretty pivotal for Team 7 and their progression. So just for that, he's got to be at least B in my opinion. Out of the main Kara members, he's probably the weakest. And he's also got that weird thing with his own cult, which is kind of cool. I mean, cults aren't cool, but what he's doing is kind of interesting, if you could say that. So yeah, we'll go B. B's pretty good. Kawaki before he went to Konoha. This is I feel like when we look back at Boruto, everyone was hating on Boruto during this whole thing, but I think this was one of the best points of Boruto. Kawaki just absolutely destroying Garo. I think Kawaki as a villain is honestly much more fitting than him as an ally in Konoha. It just makes more sense. I don't know why. He's got the look for it. He's got the annoyed attitude all the time. I think Kawaki is an S tier villain. And as you see in the very beginning of the show, he does become a villain at some point. So yeah, Kawaki S tier villain in my opinion. Daddy Jigen, the first one to actually clown on Naruto and Sasuke. Extremely intimidating. He also looks kind of weird. So weird in this form without the Karma Seal. In his Karma Seal, crazy Ishiki form, he does look pretty insane. The cool insane. But he just looks stupid insane when he's in this just sitting there mode. So just for that, we're going to go A tier. And if you're already starting to realize there's not really a actual gauge for this, I mean, you're correct. You're 100% correct. This is all subjective. It's just like which characters I like most, which are the most feared in my opinion, and which will be looked back on as like the best villains. Like, it's pretty objective when you look back at Naruto. Orochimaru was a very good villain, and there were certain villains that were just trash. So I'm trying to make somewhat of a good gauge and take into consideration a bunch of different factors when I do this. So, and obviously you can disagree. I mean, you could have Kawaki way down here if you think he's just not a good villain. It's fine. But in my opinion, this is going okay. Code. Code is the main villain right now. So this is a pretty good gauge of like how I currently feel about him. And honestly, with Ada and Damon, he's not really much of a threat, but he does have the Jubi, which is very interesting. I like Code's persona as a whole. I like his story, how he has that rivalry with Kawaki. There's a lot I actually do like about Code. I'm hard pressed to put him in S already because he hasn't been the main villain for very long. So I'm gonna go like above. We'll go like, we'll just go here. Damon, I mean, as far as strength goes, he's basically as high as it gets. I made a video on that. It's pretty annoying how strong this little dude is. I mean, he sort of has the same fate of Ada, how he's not really at all intimidating if you just look at him. Like, how am I supposed to be scared of this little guy that looks like he's in BTS? Like, I don't understand why they make him a villain. Like, you look at Orochimaru, that man is scary. This dude, not scary. I mean, I think he's a better villain than, like, Ada, because she just has weird, kind of annoying abilities. This, like, Damon's just strong, which is cool, but I don't know. I'm not, like, fully on board. I'm gonna go, like, high C tier for now. And he's not even really a villain anymore, but we'll see. Deepa, not in the manga, so... And, I mean, he got beat by Team 7, so... Yeah. Delta? Pretty good. I mean... In my opinion, not up here with the likes of Code, Jigen, or Amado, or anyone like that. I would say above Boro. Anyone that's like fighting Naruto and having him working at all is like, I'd say is pretty up here. I just completely contradicted myself. I know Ada and Damon are strong, but like, just give me a pass on them. They just can't be any higher than that, I swear. Delta, I think, is pretty good. Yeah, we're just gonna go B. High B, above Boro. Made me think Himori was gonna die, so yeah, that's about right. Momoshiki, fused Momoshiki. Do they have separate? Yeah, they do. So fused Momoshiki, the strongest thing we'd seen in the series until that point, in both series, Naruto and Boruto. It was sort of like an unprecedented level of strength, someone actually testing Naruto and Sasuke. It was just really weird at that point. So at the time, I definitely did not like him, but that's true with pretty much any good villain. So, in my opinion, he's above Jigen, probably not Amado, and Kawaki is still just holding down S tier by himself. Garo, I mean, he's definitely a good character to just get absolutely demolished by a good character. This man got absolutely blown to pieces. He came out of nowhere, so there was no real build-up or anything like that. There's no real backstory on this guy. It's sort of just like, oh, he's kind of strong. We'll just bring him in. So we'll just go low C for now. Urashiki, also not in the manga. Now, not being in the manga is definitely a negative, but it's not going to instantly put him in dreadful. Although that may end up being where he goes, because he's just like... He should be like the strongest person in the series with his hacks abilities, but he's just not at all. He's just bad. And never once was I really concerned watching the whole arc of going back in time and fighting him, if I'm being completely honest. He's not really all that intimidating, so yeah, he's also just gonna go there. Kawashiki. Is he really a villain though? I don't know if he's actually a villain. As a villain, I don't think he's all that good, because, I mean, he was the one that was fighting Borushiki to save Naruto and everybody. So, yeah, I don't think he's a villain unless I'm remembering this wrong. So, as a villain, he's just not good because he's just not a villain. Ishiki. Yeah, I mean, he's going to go there. A lot of people seem to hate on Ishiki. I don't really get it. I think he's insane. He's been sort of teased at for a long time. The idea that there's pairs of Otsutsukis and that he's been there since Kaguya times and he's sort of been there the whole time is pretty insane. Now, obviously, that's something they wrote into the story. That wasn't something Kishimoto knew he was going to have during Naruto. At least I don't think. But in my opinion, it does actually work really well. Having someone that much stronger than your main characters is... I mean, it's sort of what villains are all about. You're not really going to get excited if a villain is just not good. It's like the whole reason Yoshiki is down here. Like, you sort of need a villain to be at least on par with the main character. It's like a Joker and Batman kind of thing. It just needs to happen that way. So yeah, in my opinion, Ishiki is definitely S tier for this series. As for this Ishiki version of Jigen, honestly, he may be higher. I don't like... This is actually the first time we even came in contact with the actual crazy strength of Ishiki. So maybe he should be higher? Was I more scared for actual Ishiki? I don't know. I think there was something monumental about Ishiki actually coming to life and just like messing around with Kashin Koji. So in my opinion, it should go something like, I don't know if he's better than Amado though. We'll just put him here. I'm fine with that. That'll do. I just think the actual Ishiki is just, like I said, monumental. This is definitely the first snippet we got of that insane power, but the actual revival was, like I said earlier, it's like something that we'll remember when you're watching the last episode of the series. You're like, man. I mean, at the end of the series, that's probably going to be nothing compared to the power levels, but at the time, it was pretty insane. Kinshiki, I mean, he's not good. Like, even when he was fighting Sasuke by himself in their dimension, it wasn't at all like nerve-wracking. Never once have I been like, oh no, it's Kinshiki. So we're just, I mean, he's okay. We'll just put him there, but it's like meh. And we'll go C+. It's like a meh. Kashin Koji, I mean, sort of this, like similar to Amado. He's just so mysterious, so weird. Jiraiya, like my favorite character from Naruto, he's got to be like up here somewhere. And I don't think he's going to be actually like a villain, but we'll see. For now, he is, and I think he's a pretty good villain. S tier is where he's going to go. Borushiki, he's definitely come in at some very convenient times. As a villain, is he that good? I think he's actually a better... is he maybe somewhere around here? I could understand like a lot of fluctuation for Borushiki. If you think he's just CS, like there could be a lot of wiggle room for this guy, but I'd say somewhere around there is accurate. We don't need to talk about that one. Momoshiki, the actual Momoshiki, no fusion or anything like that. He just eats fruits all day, sits there in his toga, not really all that crazy, not all that intimidating. Well, I mean, he's like, let's just do that. Shoujoji, not really. I mean, the only thing significant was the fact that he is the reason Boruto showed his Karma Seal for the first time, but there was nothing really specific to where it had to be him. He was just a sort of strong guy that was killing people, so there he goes. This is the Urashiki that was fighting Sasuke and Gaara, which I think is better than the one that was fighting Jiraiya and Kid Naruto, but not by very much, if I'm being honest. Like, maybe you could put him back of C, but that's probably more accurate right there. And the last one, Old Man. Not gonna act like I remember this guy's name, because he was there, and then Kashin Koji ended that real quick. So we're just going to throw him like there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my list. There's definitely some wiggle room for some of these characters. Like I said, Borushiki could be anywhere. Ada and Damon could basically, I mean, if depending on how much you consider their strength to be frightening, that could move them up. I don't think they're very frightening when you look at them, but hey, I guess that's up to you. While researching this video, I came across a very funny article that I will be doing a video on next, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's my best to worst Boruto villain tier list. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if you think this is the worst thing you've ever seen. The only thing I am 100% certain on is that Shin deserves to be there, and that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.